Okay, guys, I think I'm finally ready to talk about the Marvel Studios Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer, which, of course, was just released at San Diego Comic Con. This was kind of the big finale to their Hall H panel. It was great. They had a musical performance and everything. Ryan Coogler, the director, the cast, they all went out on stage. Tina Huerta announced his Namor, all that stuff, and then it ends with this big trailer, which it was just so emotional. I mean, they spent the whole time talking about Chadwick Boseman and how this film is to honor him, and a lot of people were worried about this movie of like, oh, they should have recast T'Challa. Not recasting him is a mistake. Chadwick's shadow was going to loom over this movie, but I feel like it's more along the lines of his spirit is alongside the film. Like this movie is for Chadwick. It's in his honor, and you can feel that with not only the way the cast was talking about it, but in the trailer itself. Because first of all, that music was beautiful and absolutely perfect for this trailer, and kind of funny how like the music was literally saying, "Don't cry, it's gonna be all right." And then the more they said that, I just started crying even more and more because. Wow, just wow. Because not only does it do a beautiful job of carefully and respectfully honoring Chadwick Boseman and his loss, but also it just is a beautiful trailer. This looks like a beautiful movie. Big Avatar vibes, actually, and that's not only because the Atlanteans are blue, but just like the beauty of like the water and Wakanda. It's just a lot going on here, and we have a lot to talk about. So this is going to be the trailer breakdown. We're going to be talking about it in depth. Um, check out my other Comic-Con news videos and all that stuff. I'll be doing a She-Hulk trailer breakdown either later tonight or tomorrow as well. But for now, let's jump into this and actually take another quick look at the teaser poster, which we also got. Just the blank cowl of the Black Panther, November 11th, 2022. Really showing that, there is no Black Panther here until we see the end of the trailer. Like, it's going to be the end of one Black Panther and the birth of a new one, which we'll get into a little bit later. But first of all, this trailer opens up on Lupita Nyong'o's character of Nakia. And you can see that she is different. She's got a different outfit. She's got longer hair now. And some of these moments, like, it's interesting how this trailer has barely any dialogue in it, but it doesn't even need it, because some of the most emotional moments are just watching these characters just stare off into the distance and reflect on their feelings, or some of them even crying, and man, it's emotional. So like these silent moments, just seeing Okoye and Queen Ramonda just walking around, seeing Queen Ramonda sitting in the throne where we saw T'Challa sit in the first movie as King of Wakanda. You also have the return of this character from the first movie as well, so that's pretty cool. Then we have the funeral of T'Challa. We know that this character is going to die. We don't know how he's going to die or anything like that, if they're going to show it or anything along those lines, but we are going to have some sort of funeral or maybe even celebration of life, because it does look very celebrational, and you can see they're all wearing white, which usually black would be for a funeral, white would be more of a wedding, but in their culture, I'm assuming white would be more funeral. And we have this great shot of Shuri, and she just the blank expression on her face. You can see the pain in her eyes. This is another beautiful shot with the Marvel Studios logo. You can see actually Queen Ramonda and I'm assuming Shuri right there by her side. And oh wow, I didn't even notice this until now, but it looks like Shuri is actually carrying the Black Panther helmet. Wow, okay. Yeah, let's not cry. Great shot of Okoye. Okoye makes her big grand entrance there. The rest of the Dora Milaje members, I'm not sure exactly where they are, but then we get this another beautiful shot here. The cinematography in this film is going to be off the charts. It looks beautiful. Great shot of the ocean. A couple different shots of our characters just staring out at the ocean. First, we opened it up with Nakia. Now we have Queen Ramonda. And Shuri, just these shots of these characters looking off into the distance, just crying, just having to deal with the loss of T'Challa. then we transition into our more antagonist side of things here with the birth of Namor. So we have an underwater birth, and the way that we do know that this is Namor, not only because of Atlantean birth, but because you can actually see his little wings on his feet, because that is something that Namor has in the comics. We've seen he's going to be having that in the movie as well. So that's actually pretty awesome. And the fact that Namor is actually a mutant in the comics, the first mutant in Marvel Comics, it's supposedly going to be that he's going to be a mutant in this movie as well, which of course we just got the confirmation of mutants in Ms. Marvel, the first mutant in the MCU, so Namor is going to be the second. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to go about explaining that, or how heavily they'll be on saying like, oh, he's a mutant, what is that, and all that stuff. It might just be like a quick reference or something. But we do have that from director Ryan Coogler, who of course was super close with Chadwick Boseman, so of course this is really big for him, getting this opportunity to honor his friend. Here's a nice shot of Namor actually in his headdress, and a great shot of some whales, which actually have Atlanteans riding them. So big Aquaman vibes here, of course. I love the Aquaman movie, but we definitely have a different version of Atlantis and the Atlanteans in this film. But then we have the human interference, which I feel like is going to be what kind of sparks this war between Atlantis and Wakanda. Because we have these people who I'm assuming are like drilling. They've got like this oil rig going on, I'm assuming. And they're like sending these people down into the ocean and basically interfering with Atlantis and living their life. You can see actually here that these military guys are like kidnapping and torturing Atlanteans. So clearly this is what I'm assuming is going to trigger the Atlanteans. For some reason they're probably going to blame Wakanda, possibly because of the use of vibranium here. Now due to the whole Wakanda, sharing weapons and vibranium with the world after the first Black Panther movie. So they'll probably blame them. But we have heard that possibly Doctor Doom is going to be behind the scenes of what's going on in this movie. So possibly Doctor Doom is the one that has these humans here, these government officials dealing with the Atlanteans, and actually ends up causing the war. So we have this really honestly terrifying to see this type of stuff going down here. And then even more terrifying, we have the burning and flooding of Wakanda. This is something that happened in the 2012 Avengers vs. X-Men comics with Namor and the Atlanteans versus Wakanda, where they full-on flooded Wakanda, and that looks exactly like that's going to happen in this movie. Wakanda's going to get flooded, and you can see Shuri right here in the throne room. We get another great shot of that later. We have the introduction of Dominique Thorne as Riri Williams, who of course is going to become Ironheart. She's going to be getting her own Disney Plus series as a part of Phase 5. And she is in Shuri's laboratory, actually, from the first movie. Looks like it's gotten some upgrades there, and they're working together because, of course, they're both super smart science ladies. So I'm excited to see kind of how, like, we used to have Tony Stark and Bruce Banner as the science bros. Now we got the science girls? I don't exactly know what they're going to call them, but the new science duo in the MCU, so that's going to be really cool to see. And we have more burning, more flooding, more catastrophe. And you can see, I'm assuming this is a young Namor, just because, he looks a lot younger. And then you transition to present-day Namor, played by Tenoch Huerta. And I love this shot right here because this is full-on comics-accurate Namor with the green Speedo, the pointy ears, the staff, everything. I'm loving the comics accuracy with this character. It's really, really great to see. We get to see the Jabari tribes kind of hide out here in the mountains. We have a great look at Winston Duke as M'Baku, the man-ape, and also some of the Dora Milaje as here as well. There's AO right front and center. They, for some reason, are paying a visit to M'Baku. Maybe this is after Wakanda flood, so they kind of have to flee to M'Baku and the Jabari. We have another great shot of Lupita Nyong'o's character of Nakia. And this is probably the most powerful moment of the whole trailer because, again, for the most part, there was like no dialogue. It was just listening to this super sad, depressing song, which was really getting me up in the feels. And then all of a sudden, you hear Queen Ramonda say that she is queen of one of the most powerful nations in the world, and her whole family is gone. Of course, she lost her husband T'Chaka. Now she's lost her son T'Challa. I don't exactly know what that means for Shuri. Like, did she run away? Did she get kidnapped? I don't know what's going on there. But then we flash over to a mural of Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa, and I mean, we saw in like Spider-Man: Far From Home murals of Tony Stark after his death in Avengers: Endgame, but there's just something that hits different with that being a character that died. Sure, it's a character that we knew and loved for like 10 plus years, but with this being an actor, it just feels so different. And I just feel it so much. And it's just such a powerful performance from Queen Ramonda right here, Angela Bassett. It's really great to see, especially because she didn't have a huge role in the first movie. So nice to see that she is the Queen of Wakanda. She is taking on a bigger leadership role here this time around. We get a great look at, I'm assuming that is Namor, the cousin of Namor, and also actually Atuma as well. He's actually a Namor Submariner villain in the comics, so he'll probably be, maybe Namor will be more of a heroic presence and just an antagonist at first, and then he'll be redeemed by the end, but Atuma will be the real villain. That's kind of what I'm thinking. We get a great look at the return of Everett Ross from the first movie. We're also going to be seeing him in the Secret Invasion Disney Plus series. Then we have actually Riri Williams in Shuri's lab. She is building her Ironheart suit, and you can see her actually forging the actual heart right there. So that's pretty interesting. Then we have the War of Wakanda versus Atlantis. And the whole Namor being a mutant thing, I feel like probably explains why he's the only Atlantean, at least from what I can see, that's not blue. That's kind of what I'm assuming is going to be part of the explanation. So there's that. And Baku is going into action. You can see he's actually fighting and actually kind of looks like he's about to ambush Namor and Namora there. Here's some great looks at the Jabari. No, not the Jabari. This is the Dora Milaje. We have, I'm assuming that is Namor. Another great look at him right there. And the flooding of Wakanda. You can see the kind of before perspective of the throne room. You can see that is the same throne where T'Challa sat in the first movie, where Ramonda was sitting in the beginning of this trailer, is fully being flooded by the Atlanteans. And then we have probably the best look yet at Namor with this cool like nose ring going on there. I'm not a fan of the nose ring or the mustache or any like that stuff going on. But he just looks really, really cool as a villainous presence in this film. And then we have a nice shot of Okoye. We're getting some more action in this movie, balancing out the emotion and the action. Speaking of emotion, here's a great shot of just Shuri is just falling apart in tears, and I'm assuming that's probably either her mother or Okoye or Nakia just like comforting her there of like, it's, as the song says, it's gonna be all right. We have then the Dora Milaje is actually fighting those government people, and them wearing green. Is that possibly a hint to Doctor Doom? Maybe, maybe not. We don't exactly know. There's a great shot of Namor again. There's a cool whale, and then we get kind of a shot from the final showdown: the Dora Milaje and Wakanda versus Atlantis. And you have them actually jumping off a ship or something. I love this shot right here of them fighting the Atlanteans, which are like climbing up their ship. This is a really beautiful shot. And then we end off the trailer with our first look at the new Black Panther, but we still don't know who the new Black Panther is going to be. Just judging off this shot, I'm assuming it's a female, but that doesn't exactly narrow it down. For all we know, it could be Shuri, which is the obvious choice since she actually became Black Panther in the comics, or it could be Nakia, or it could be Okoye, or Ayo, or any of these other Dora Milaje members as well. Now, again, the obvious choice is Shuri, and I feel like that's probably what they're setting it up to be, but I feel like Nakia is another strong choice as well. But then again, you never know. So those are kind of my top two choices and ideas of who's going to be the new Black Panther, the new protector of Wakanda. But guys, that's it. That is the official, actually, teaser trailer for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. This movie comes out in November. I'm both excited to see this, but at the same time not ready, because it means this movie is going to be our official goodbye to Chadwick Boseman and T'Challa, and I'm not ready, but we're gonna have to be. I mean, the movie looks great. This movie looks literally beautiful. Not only with paying respect to Chadwick Boseman and T'Challa as a character, but also all the stuff going on with Atlantis and Namor, and just like all the water and the world of Wakanda. It's just a really, really beautiful, really, really well done trailer, and I'm really interested to see what comes from this movie. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What did you think about the first official teaser trailer for Marvel Studios' Black Panther Wakanda Forever? Of course, stay tuned for my She-Hulk trailer breakdown. Go check out all my other news videos and other news videos that'll be coming tomorrow as well. But for now, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video and hit the subscribe button so I can keep it to date on everything that goes on in the Marvel life.